if Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane would have been on the album Sgt. Pepper. George Martin, the Beatles producer, said this was the biggest mistake in his career was not putting Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane on the Sgt. Pepper album. And they had done this many times with great songs because they would put out singles, two songs A and B side, and those songs would not end up on the album. I guess to make more money, especially on the American versions of the albums. She Loves You and From Me to You were never on an album. I Want to Hold Your Hand was not on with the Beatles. I Feel Fine and She's a Woman could have been on Beatles for Sale. I always thought that Day Tripper and We Can Work It Out should have been on Rubber Soul. It was recorded at the same time. Rain and Paperback Writer was put out around the same time as Revolver. They should have been on Revolver. There was enough time on the album. And Hey Jude Revolution could have been on the White Album. The main reason they say that Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane weren't on Sgt. Pepper is because up to this time the Beatles had always put out two albums a year in the summer and around Christmas time. 66, after they did their last tour in the summer of 66, they decided they would never tour again. They went on a few months break. And by the time they went back to the studio, it was already late November, and it took a lot longer for them to record their songs by then. And they didn't have a whole album written; they only had one song, "Strawberry Fields." So because they didn't put out a December album, they were getting pressure from EMI or Capitol to put out a single, and all they had was at that time was "Strawberry Fields," "Penny Lane," and I think it was "When I'm 64." Because of the pressure, they put out a single, and they could have put out the single and still put the songs on Sgt. Pepper, but that's not what they did. Had they put those two songs on the album, where would they go on the album? And you can't start the album with those songs because you have to start with Sgt. Pepper, and those first three songs flow really well together with a little help from my friends and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. You can't end the album with those songs, obviously, because you have a day in a life. You have to end with the E chord. The best place for them would probably be at the beginning of side two because they're both strong songs. And I was thinking, would you have to replace two songs? Back then, usually the most you'd put on one side of a record would be 25 minutes. You probably would only have to take one side off, one song off side two. And I would say When I'm 64, which is not a bad song, but it's not one of the stronger songs on the album, and it's nobody's favorite. I like listening to it in the context of the album, like as a narrative, but I never would go out of my way to listen to it. So I'd say put Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane, the first two songs, on side two as a solution because they put those two songs, Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane, on the Magical Mystery Tour LP, the American version. If you had put them on Sargent, there wouldn't be enough songs on the Magical Mystery Tour album. So I think you could have put on When I'm 64, and there's another song they recorded around Sgt. Pepper that didn't show up until the Yellow Submarine soundtrack, and then a song called All Together Now. So you could have put All Together Now and When I'm 64 on Magical Mystery Tour. So I'd like to hear your ideas. If Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane would have been on Sgt. Pepper, where on the album do you think they should have gone, and what songs would you replace, if any?